In the American colonies, survival meant being armed. The flintlock musket became the weapon that shaped early America. Weighing around 10 pounds and stretching nearly 5 feet long, it wasn't just a hunting tool. It was the difference between life and death on the frontier. Colonial militias drilled with these muskets, learning to fire and reload in synchronized volleys. During conflicts with native nations and later against the British, the musket's .69 to .75 caliber lead ball could be deadly within 50 yards. Though beyond that, accuracy dropped fast. Precision wasn't the goal. Overwhelming fire was. When hundreds of militiamen fired at once, the sheer volume of lead could devastate anything in front of them. The true terror came when the smoke cleared, and the bayonet fixed to the barrel turned the musket into a spear. Once the firing stopped, men closed in, clashing in brutal hand-to-hand combat. This combination of massed firepower and close-range lethality made the flintlock musket the defining weapon of early American warfare. When the Revolution began, British troops relied on smoothbore muskets like the Brown Bess. American frontiersmen brought something far deadlier, the Kentucky, or Pennsylvania, long rifle. Unlike a musket, its barrel was rifled, grooved to spin the bullet, dramatically improving accuracy. Skilled marksmen could hit targets beyond 200 yards, more than twice the range of a musket. British officers fell from unseen distances, and the psychological impact was immense. Suddenly, even high-ranking men on horseback weren't safe. At battles like Saratoga and Kings Mountain, American riflemen picked apart British formations. One well-placed shot could remove a commander and send entire units into disarray. The long rifle wasn't ideal for line battles. It loaded slowly. But in the hands of scouts and sharpshooters, it made the Revolution unpredictable and terrifying for the enemy. The American Civil War turned open fields into killing grounds, and the rifled musket was the weapon that made it so. The Springfield Model 1861 and its Confederate counterparts combined the long-range accuracy of the Kentucky rifle with the reliability and mass production of older muskets. Firing the new conical Minié ball, these rifles could accurately hit targets at 300 to 500 yards, distances that rendered traditional 18th century tactics suicidal. But generals hadn't caught up. Soldiers still marched shoulder to shoulder into sheets of gunfire. The result was catastrophic. At Antietam, Gettysburg, and Cold Harbor, thousands fell in minutes. The bullets didn't just pierce, they shattered bone and tore massive wounds. Surgeons could rarely save limbs. Amputation became the grim standard. More than 600,000 Americans died during the Civil War, many from wounds inflicted by the rifled musket. It was the first truly modern weapon of industrial-scale slaughter. Invented by Richard Gatling in 1861, the Gatling gun brought the Industrial Revolution to the battlefield. Cranked by hand, its multiple rotating barrels could fire up to 200 rounds per minute, faster than any rifle of its day. Though it saw limited use in the Civil War, the Gatling gun became a symbol of American firepower in the decades after. It was used in conflicts like the Spanish-American War and during the Indian Wars, though not specifically at Wounded Knee, where other rapid-fire weapons, such as the Hotchkiss gun, were employed with devastating results. For the first time, killing was mechanized. A small crew could unleash a continuous storm of bullets, mowing down enemies faster than they could reload. The Gatling gun marked the beginning of automatic fire, a grim leap forward in the evolution of warfare. When American forces entered the World Wars, they learned what European armies already knew. Artillery ruled the battlefield. From the 75mm field guns of World War I to the 155mm howitzers of World War II, these weapons could hurl explosive shells more than 10 miles. In the trenches of France, soldiers feared incoming shells more than bullets. You couldn't see them, only hear the distant rumble, then the rising whistle, then nothing. A single barrage could level a town or erase a company in seconds. The blast, shrapnel, and shockwave turned soldiers into fragments. Most battlefield deaths in both world wars came from artillery, not rifles or machine guns. By World War II, artillery had become precise and mobile. It supported amphibious landings like D-Day, leveled German defenses, and pounded Japanese positions in the Pacific. It didn't just kill, it reshaped the landscape itself. Artillery was, and remains, the king of the battlefield. August 6th and 9th, 1945, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In two blinding flashes, the atomic bomb changed humanity forever. The bomb dropped on Hiroshima, nicknamed Little Boy, killed roughly 70,000 people instantly. 3 days later, Fat Man obliterated Nagasaki, killing around 40,000 more on impact. Tens of thousands more would die from burns, radiation sickness, and cancer in the months and years that followed. The destruction was total. Temperatures near ground zero exceeded 4,000 degrees Celsius. People close to the blast were vaporized, leaving only shadows burned into walls. Entire neighborhoods vanished in seconds. Unlike conventional weapons, the atomic bomb didn't distinguish between soldier and civilian. It ended 2 cities and the war in the same moment. The mushroom cloud became the most terrifying symbol of modern warfare. Power so absolute it could erase humanity itself. Not every deadly weapon kills instantly. Some linger for generations. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. military sprayed about 19 million gallons of herbicides, including Agent Orange, across jungles and farmland. The goal was to destroy enemy cover and crops, stripping away the dense vegetation that hid Viet Cong fighters, but the chemical's dioxin contaminant turned it into a slow, invisible killer. It poisoned soil, water, and food supplies. Millions of Vietnamese civilians and tens of thousands of American veterans were exposed. The effects were horrific. Cancers, birth defects, and neurological disorders that persist to this day. Entire regions of Vietnam remain contaminated, and children continue to be born with deformities linked to exposure decades later. Agent Orange proved that even without explosions or bullets, a weapon can devastate nations. Quietly, slowly, and without mercy. From the jungles of Vietnam to the streets of Baghdad and Kabul, one weapon has defined the American soldier, the M16 and its modern descendant, the M4 carbine. Lightweight, accurate, and versatile, these rifles revolutionized U.S. infantry combat. Weighing under 8 pounds and capable of firing up to 800 rounds per minute in full auto, they offered portability and firepower unmatched by earlier battle rifles. The smaller 5.56mm round allowed troops to carry more ammunition and produce controlled bursts at range. The M16's early years were rocky. Malfunctions in Vietnam earned it a bad reputation, but later design solved those issues. The M4, a shorter, improved version, became standard in the 1990s. Its modular design allows soldiers to attach optics, suppressors, and lasers, adapting to any combat scenario. Millions have been produced and deployed. Whether clearing buildings in urban combat or engaging from mountain ridges, the M16/M4 platform has been one of the most widely used and effective small arms in American history. The future of American warfare arrived silently, without pilots in the sky. Predator and Reaper drones transformed how America fights. Operated from bases thousands of miles away, they can loiter above battlefields for hours, tracking targets with high-definition cameras and infrared sensors. When the order comes, a single operator can unleash a Hellfire missile with the push of a button. The MQ-9 Reaper, the workhorse of modern drone warfare, carries up to 4 Hellfire missiles and can stay airborne for nearly 14 hours. Drones have conducted thousands of strikes since 2001, eliminating high-value targets but also killing hundreds of civilians caught in the blast radius. What makes drones uniquely chilling isn't just their precision, it's their persistence. People in conflict zones hear the constant buzz overhead, knowing death could fall from the sky at any moment. The psychological toll is immense. The drone age blurred the line between surveillance and warfare, between safety and accountability. Killing no longer required presence, only permission. From flintlocks to drones, every generation of American weaponry has been designed to kill more efficiently, at greater distances, with less risk to the user. Each leap forward brought new power and new moral questions. The flintlock gave colonists survival. The long rifle gave revolutionaries independence. The atomic bomb ended a world war, and the drone now allows unseen operators to decide life or death with a click. Every weapon tells the story of its time, and each raises the same question. Not how powerful we can make them, but whether we should. What weapon do you think will define American warfare by the end of the 21st century? AI-controlled systems, hypersonic missiles, or something we can't yet imagine? Thanks for watching.